The U.S. consumer is starting to buckle under pressure, guys. But thankfully, somebody finally said it. Former Walmart U.S. CEO Bill Simon.
And, we're starting to see this accumulation of, global macroeconomic issues, geopolitical issues, inflation, interest rates, loan repayments. I mean, we've got a really, really contentious election that we're in the middle of. Congress can't pass a budget. They can't even elect a speaker. And I think that sort of pile up wears on the consumer and makes them wary, even though they may not be as bad as they feel, because there's some positives going on in the consumer market as well. Unemployment's low and wage rates are up. So it's a challenge, but I think overall, for the first time in a long time, there's a reason for the consumer to pause.
So the holiday season is already here, and it looks like this is actually going to be the big undeniable reveal that the consumer is actually broke. So retailers and mainstream media, they're going to try and cover it up, but most likely holiday shopping is going to be abysmal and no one will be able to say that the consumer is fine after that. Do you guys agree? Let me know how you guys are doing in the comments. Now, we've discussed this in my previous videos. Consumer spending powers about more than 2/3 of the US economy, meaning if the consumer starts seeing signs of trouble or slowing down, then it's time to pay attention. And it's looking like that time is now. Now, sure, people's capacity to spend has repeatedly defied predictions. In early 2020, after that short but major recession caused by the pandemic, consumers splurged on big ticket goods from patio furniture to flat screen TVs and home gym equipment. Then came economists called the revenge spending, with experiences that were off limits during lockdown, like traveling and going to concerts, taking top dollar. But now, after the mainstream media hype and noise, there are now signs that some shoppers are becoming more cautious as American savings erode, inflation continues to bite, and other factors tighten their wallets, like the resumption of student loan repayments this month. Oh yeah, let's not forget about that. Financial reports from retailers including Macy's, Kohl's, Foot Locker, and Nordstrom, they landed recently and they're saying the same thing, that a shift is underway. From consumers buying without a care in the world to spending more on their needs. Last year was more about the psychological aspect, but now that we're dealing with the, inflation for a while, it seems like people's savings are starting to run low. Sure, if you look at it as a whole, consumer spending is still holding up pretty well. In July, retail sales exceeded expectations, leading some economists to revise their growth forecast for this quarter. A healthy job market and rising wages have boosted consumer confidence. But there's always more to the story. In fact, consider this a warning, guys. You guys, even retailers with strong sales, they're noticing signs of financial stress among their consumers. Now, I definitely recommend subscribing to the channel and tapping that notification bell. This is the kind of story you don't want to miss the next updates to. And hey, if you want to keep our financial freedom channel going, go ahead and give this video a like and drop some comments down below. The more engagement that we have, the more people can see us through those YouTube algorithms. So appreciate that, guys. Now, in July, Burlington stores have saw a 4% increase in sales and its profits more than doubled. Now, that might sound like a good thing, but you also have to take into account how discount retailers historically do well during uncertain economic times, as shoppers from various income levels look for ways to save money. Companies like Burlington, Walmart, Dollar Tree, and TJX, formerly known as TJ Maxx, the parent company of TJ Maxx and Marshalls, all reported increased sales last quarter as consumers looked for discounts on essential items like groceries, opted for cheaper store brand products, and cut back on non-essential spending. The CEO of Burlington Stores himself commented how their core customers, those with lower incomes, are still feeling significant economic pressure. And when off-price and discount retailers start taking off like this, the opposite happens for places like department stores and fashion and footwear retailers. Case in point, retail executives flagged rising credit card delinquencies and higher rates of retail theft, definitely a sign that the consumers could be more strapped for cash. The finance chiefs of Macy's, Kohl's, and Nordstrom's, they told analysts that delinquencies on the department store's credit cards have risen. In Macy's case, the increase in non-payments last quarter was faster than expected. And when people are not paying their credit card bills, that suggests a really stretched out customer. Jeff Jeanette, the chief executive of Macy's, the largest department store in the United States, said that shoppers have been more aggressively pulling back on spending in the discretionary categories, resulting in an overall decline in sales last quarter. Half of Macy's shoppers make $75,000 or less. They also commented how shoppers aren't converting as easily and becoming more intentional on the allocation of their disposable income. The company Affirm extends credit to shoppers at checkout via a so-called buy now, pay here, or buy now, pay later model. Now, the company reported an 18% rise in active customers from a year earlier, and they also had their own insights to share on the matter. Now, according to them, probably the most important thing that people are spending money on is general merchandise. People are looking for more value for less money, or simpler functionality and lower price. So that means consumers are being more selective about where they shop and what they buy. So yeah, in case you're invested in retail stocks, you're definitely going to brands that are winners and not losers. Now that's according to Fran Horowitz, the chief executive of Abercrombie & Fitch. Now, they reported a jump in sales of more than 10% last quarter, as they said that they were able to chase the new styles and got more shoppers through the doors. By contrast, on the same day, Foot Locker reported a sales decline of nearly 10% for the quarter. It also cut its forecast for 2023 earnings for the second time this year, saying that there's what they're calling ongoing consumer softness. I mean, we're right in the middle of the back-to-school shopping season, and that's pretty big for retailers, as it's probably telling, whether there's going to be strong sales for the rest of the year. Plus, don't forget, a whole lot of other factors are coming into play. Student loan payments have already resumed for about 44 million Americans, and this is after a pandemic relief measure that put them on hold in March of 2020. You got retail executives, they have warned that the payment resumption could further squeeze their shoppers' budgets. And of course, you have Halloween, really just a few weeks after those repayments resume. That's going to be another measure for people's willingness to spend on discretionary items like costumes and candy, especially since the repayments will most affect the age group that typically spends on Halloween. Experts are predicting that if Halloween is a bust, then we have to really start looking at whether consumers are going to be able to go big for Christmas, because it may indicate that they won't, and investors may get screwed. And on the topic of grocery stores, Walmart has increased their food prices so high that more and more of their customers are going to the dollar store or to a food bank for food. Not exaggerating, guys. Food inflation in a lot of places is about 100% year over year. Then you got retailers doing a 25% price hike before giving you the 40% discount. It's like they think that we won't notice. You know what I mean, guys? Have you noticed how people have been starting to post their grocery hauls on social media? Like this one. That's $100 worth of groceries right there. A cart full of ingredients for sandwiches and tacos, enough for 4 lunches and a couple of dinners for her and her husband, plus an 18-pack of beer cost her just under $100. They also commented how if it keeps going up, they just don't know how many people are going to be able to continue to eat. Right after this grocery trip, they had to stop at a food bank to stock up on more supplies after the trip to Safeway. And like a lot of us, food is meant to last them until their next paycheck comes in. So yeah, with grocery prices up nearly 17% over the last 2 years, people are turning to social media to share just how much money it takes to feed a family. Now, one user on X, formerly known as Twitter, posted a photo of a grocery store haul and said it cost more than $270. Another X user said that a shopping trip for cereal, chicken breasts, pancake mix, and more cost more than $200. Sure, there are things like Pringles and Doritos, but I think that they made their point pretty clear. People are noticing higher costs in the grocery store aisles, and it's going to be a while before Americans can catch up. The recent Bankrate study shows workers aren't set to recover their lost purchasing power caused by inflation until the end of 2024. So you've got other Neetsons posting their hauls with the help of some thrifty shopping. This one, she said she was able to get all of this at her grocery store with the help of her coupons and her rebates. Now, according to them, that's over $53 for food worth more than $100. So yeah, not bad, right? The same person said that she bought a butchered cow and pig earlier this year and grows produce like tomatoes, corn, and cabbage to avoid those high grocery prices. Now, if her HOA allowed it, her family would be raising chickens for eggs and meat. Her advice for shoppers? You don't have to buy a chicken or a whole cow. If you're really trying to save, you just really can't be picky about what you're buying. You've got to watch for the sale prices and just stock up. I've also taken the liberty of gathering some tips from the experts on how to save money at the grocery store. Check this out, guys. First, snatch up those sales and coupons, whether you spot them in the paper or online. Coupons can be a real game changer, especially when you can stack them with rebates or discounted items. You can also change up your eating habits. Instead of eating pricey processed foods and certain cuts of meat, get creative with the ingredient swaps to save money. Remember when egg prices were through the roof? Some people just started using applesauce and binding ingredients in recipes. Just a quick Google search can help you find more affordable alternatives to your favorite ingredients. And when you're shopping, it's also a good idea to give store brand products a shot. You'd be surprised. They're usually made in the same factories as the big name brands and can save you some big money. I mean, think about getting a membership at wholesale retailers like Costco or Sam's Club. Buying in bulk can help you save money long term. And if they have it, it's good to join your local grocery store's rewards club. These memberships usually come with exclusive deals that could be worth your while. Personally, I think it helps when you prepare a shopping list before even hitting the store. It'll help you kind of steer clear of those impulse purchases that could wreck your budget. And don't forget to check for the seasonal produce. Skip the pricier processed foods and go for whole fruits and vegetables. And while the store has to do less work, like slicing and dicing, you'll pay less per pound. If you're unsure whether to buy fresh, frozen, or canned, just look at the price per ounce and then go with what's in season. Last but not least, if you're good at paying off your credit card every single month, consider using it for groceries, especially if you got a credit card that gives you some reward points. If you do it right, credit cards can actually put some money back in your pocket. And as for me, guys, my secret weapon right now is to work on paying off any high interest credit card or even mortgage debt. Definitely helps at the end of the day when you don't have to worry about a roof over your head, you know? Let me know if you guys have your own advice to share with our financial freedom fam. I always love hearing from you guys. Until the next time, take care.